You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down, featuring in-depth discussion and interviews with stand-up comedians on the art of stand-up comedy. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, stand up, sit down.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ashford Thomas. That's right, they got rid of Arsenio, they got rid of Latifah. All you got left is me. I know somebody out there say, damn. But still, we're going to get into it today. All right, let's have a great show today. I got the one and only, the hilarious actor, hilarious comedian, the hilarious writer, the one and only. This man's been seen on Reno 911, The Parkers, also been seen on Martin Lawrence, First Amendment, with Jamie Foxx's Laugh-A-Palooza, and also one of the writers of Real Husbands of Hollywood, and also a HU alum. That's why I gotta show my HBCU pride right here. HU stand up, the one and only Mr. Buddy Lewis. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? Yes, HU in the house, and to all the Qs.
Yep, Alpha Chapter. That's what's going on, man.
Room for the bar.
Definitely, man. So glad to have you on the show today. We're going to go ahead and jump on to it, man. Let's get into your journey, man. Tell the people where you're from originally.
Well, originally, I'm from Gary, Indiana, and which was the murder capital of the world at one time.
I'm scared. I'm going to grab my wallet, make sure.
We are slowly trying to get our title back.
Definitely.
Because, we relinquished it to some other cities, but we want our title back. I haven't gotten a gun or anything yet, but I might go back and,
You never know.
Never know when you go back home.
Thanksgiving dinner, you might need something beside the yams.
Something might break out over bad potato salad. You never know. But by way of Howard University,
HU,
and then out here to California, and I've been out here since 1980, man. Back there. 1989, man. I've been out here doing it, and my journey has been interesting because you can't count those first 3 or 4 years when I was working at the law firm being Conica the fax boy. And you don't count that. Those are wasted.
You weren't really in it.
Yeah, I wasn't really in the game.
Definitely.
So we count from like 1992, 1993. I've been seriously. I quit my job and I've been supporting myself doing entertainment.
That's a blessing. Almost 20 years right there, baby.
Man. Yes, sir.
Definitely, man. Let's take it back to GI 1 second, man. Definitely, man. Did you always know you were funny? How's the family and all that stuff? How's that set?
Well, it's interesting because I did when you know how in high school they give out those awards, the senior superlatives and all that. I have to admit I got the most humorous 3 straight years in a row.
That's
sophomore, junior, and senior year. I got it.
Shutting it down.
I earned my title, and we used to do this thing called. There used to be a show on TV back in the day called Make You Laugh, and we had this Make You Laugh like thing in the theater that we did and you could come in and watch us perform. We had a little improv in the theater troops, and we all did that, and it was interesting. We were good at it, and people could win prizes and stuff, and so we had fun doing that. That was way back in high school, and so I went to Howard University, majored in microbiology, which is a complete. Yeah, I'm a microbiology major, which is a complete. I did that because I thought I wanted to be a dentist, but I realized fooling around in people's mouths, that's really not funny.
Ain't your thing right there. You on the hill, though. You one of those people I barely saw right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, I came out here after I'd been fired from, let's see, the second job I got fired from. So I came on out here and started to pursue my career in entertainment after a stint performing in D.C. I don't know if you remember, there was a club called Triples Nightclub.
Oh, okay.
Triples, and they had this competition going all over the city, and it was down. They had comics, they had singers, they had male and female, and the 3 of us that were left in the competition when I performed, it was me, goddamn Craig Frazier, who's also a Howard alumni, and Tommy Davidson. And of course, I don't know how this happened. I got third. I know I was the best, but you know, Tommy will never relinquish that title. But no, he won, and Craig used some of the jokes that I'd helped him write against me and won second place.
Oh man!
And since then, man, I've been out here. I said I was going to do it, and I left DC, spent a little bit of time in Gary, and I've been out here ever since.
Definitely, man. That's what's up. Well, also, at this nightclub, was that your first time getting on stage?
Well, you know, actually, no, that's not the first time. You know, the original first time that I said, you know what, I think I can do this. My friend and I, my best friend at the time was a guy named Keith Fisher, and he's a doctor now. And we had come out here to drive his then girlfriend's car back to LA during spring break.
Things we do for the exes, never do it again.
Never again. But I was a trip to California for spring break.
Okay.
You know, free. Her father, one-way trip out here. We were going to drive her car that she had gotten for graduation back.
Woo!
And so we came out here, and there was amateur night at the Comedy Store, and I got 3 minutes, and I did it. And I was like, I think I'm gonna try this. Yeah. And so my friends thought I was foolish and thought I was making a mockery of you know, my education and whatnot. But I ended up coming out here after that. That was the first time I'd really sort of been on stage in a club. Yeah. But I had done stand up at school and, you know, all those other sort of areas. But that was like the first time I performed in a stage around a group of people that I didn't know on stage, and I did good.
And to do it there, of all places,
of all places, it was 3 minutes, and I did it. And I was like, this is a key and a sign that I think I can do this. And ever since then, I've been on my way.
Because that's where the greats go.
Yeah, that's where the greats go.
Definitely.
Got to go to the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, and if you can't get on there, you do what I do. You start your own room.
That's it. That's what's up. You know, start it on. Every door's not going to go bust open for you when you come out to Hollywood.
Oh man, people think that, but they're sadly mistaken. You got to get your grind on, and I think that was one of the things that at the time when I came out here, there was especially a sort of a black comedy explosion going on at the time. Def Jam, Comic View, all those shows.
Well, you needed talent.
You needed talent. You had to have talent.
You can't just be goofy on Instagram.
No. You couldn't just have your tweets and your you had to really have some talent. And this was when the Comedy Act Theater was going down, and that's where Robin Harris worked. Ooh. And so you had to go to even get on stage. You had to have some talent, and to sustain yourself in the interims when Robin came off of stage, while he had the house at the top, to continue the show without getting booed off stage, you had to be funny. Yeah. And so we worked, and I worked there, and after the Comedy Act Theater sort of went down, there were other clubs. It was Mavericks Flat. It was Birdland West. We did all these spots, and we tried to transition out of doing clubs, and no disrespect, but clubs in the south part of town, in the hood. Yeah. You want to try and move.
Diversify.
Yeah, and do mainstream, and so and not be so locked into themes and talking points and subjects that are only familiar to us as black people. Definitely. You want to have a universal feel, and so you try to move. You have to go uptown, and that's the one thing interesting I think about black comedy is that a lot of black comics can do both. But a lot of white comics don't.
They can't.
They can't. And so I challenge, a lot of people to, and then there are a lot of black comics that can't do white clubs. So if you're stuck in one area, you're gonna find yourself having trouble moving up and out and getting Hollywood in itself to take a look and take a chance and make sure that you could do a show that could be on TV or something of that nature. So I had to get uptown, and so that was tough because you could have been doing comedy for 10 years down in
the hood, Crenshaw,
off of Crenshaw, exactly, down on Florence and Normandy, and at the Comedy Store you were another face, and so you had to present yourself as funny up there as well, and I did all of that, and I came to realize that this was my thing when I got started. I decided that I wasn't going to let them define me either. So, and once the room started getting sort of crowded in the hood. What I decided to do was I'm going to bring what I do uptown.
Yeah.
And not only bring it uptown, I'll start my own room. If Mitzi and Jimmy Masada and the guys at the Improv don't want me, how about I do my own thing? And so I created my own. I must have had, I did a room downtown called I had the Rush Hour Comedy Hour. And so, you know, after Rush Hour, I would do on Friday, you could come in there, happy hour, Rush Hour Comedy. And so you could, I did that down at the Mayan Theater. Downtown,
I know that.
The Mayan. And I did that for about 6 months before that folded. I did a room over on Wilshire. We had we had rooms everywhere. And then finally Kim Whitley and I started a room at the Ha Ha Cafe, and we turned that room into Whacked Out Wednesdays was one of the most prolific rooms, and I won't say it started, but it gave birth and it gave rise to a lot of these other comedy rooms that are also going now. There's Chocolate Sundays, there was Fat Tuesdays, there were a whole lot of rooms. We were in that same category of area. Kim and I had a room that was in the Valley, and it was
you got people making a drive.
Oh man,
what?
And that room was fabulous. You know what I mean, we had every legendary star in that room came through there on Wednesday night, from Eddie Murphy to Jamie Foxx, Chris Tucker. They all came in there and sat and had a good time. And we had Arsenio Hall. Everybody still talks about how we used to do that room, and then I moved it to another room, Sarah's Dine and Dance. So I've had my experiences with the room, and so to a lot of young comics and people, I say, hey, if it's not going right for you, hey, start your own thing. And that's what's great about the internet and those areas. You can have your own thing
and be proactive. And you came up before that, so how'd you?
You know, man, you know what? You know, technology is. I was at the forefront of the technology before. I wish I would have. You know, timing is everything. Also, in this business. If I would have had the wherewithal to technologically take advantage of what I was doing comedically, I think I'd be a lot further along in my career. But I'm trying to take advantage of it now, so I'm gonna find me some tech savvy kids like my daughter, about 5 years old, and who know how to use the internet to get Buddy Lewis famous.
Definitely, and put them to work.
Put them to work.
Definitely, man. So, all right, definitely. So, man, are you one of those people that look at comedy? We talking about diversifying yourself. Look at comedy. Some people just say funny is funny, or do you say, hey, when you go to like you say, you go to a different room, you got to come with a different material. Like you can't just come across the board with the same. Or you can sometimes, but it's very difficult. And like you said, sometimes people pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm one of those believers that funny's funny.
Yeah,
and if a joke is a quality joke, it should be something that could work in one part of town and work in the other. And it's very interesting. I happen to see a lot of comics that did both. Robin Harris worked in the hood, but he came up and tore the Comedy Store up. I saw Chris Rock. This is a true story. I saw Chris Rock. I opened for Chris Rock way back in the day at Northridge College. It was me, Chris Rock, and Joe Torre. And at the time,
Chicago.
Yeah, and we were at Northridge out in the Valley, and it was one of those weird things. Chris didn't want to have his material follow Joe because Joe was so raw, you know, and so Chris, we switched the whole thing around so that we could make it work. Joe ended up hosting. I opened and let Chris close the show because you know it was one of those things where the material for the event was different. It was just
transition.
You need to transition, and I've seen people that you know I've watched some great comics. I watched Dennis Miller work the Apollo. You know, so I think it's all about putting the right material for the right situation, and you got to be able to do that when you're performing.
Definitely. What's a lot of inspiration for a lot of your material? Definitely being a comic and also being a writer, TV writer. You know,
I think the one thing for me is just being observational. You know, I try to find the joke in whatever's going on, whether it's a funeral or something tragic or something. There's nothing funnier than seeing an old lady get punched.
There ain't nothing. You might see that in Gary.
Yeah, you might see it. Yeah, hey, I have to make sure it's not my mom.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's some humor in things, and you just got to try to find it. The key, and Chris Rock said it the other day, is finding the angle that no one else is taking on a subject. That's what makes a great joke. It's because everybody has jokes about Ferguson and Bill Cosby, and everybody's gonna have a joke about those things. But what's your take and your angle that nobody else is taking? And that's where you have to say and you can throw things out that are just, you know, people might cringe and go, oh, but they'll go, that was interesting.
Make them think about it.
Make them think about it, and that's what you want to do. You want to try to find the angle that no one else is looking at.
Definitely.
And that's where your joke lies. That's where greatness comes, is when you find an angle that is clever, that just no one else had that twist or put that on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've tried to do. I'm not always good at it, but that's what I've tried to do.
Gotcha, definitely. Now let's speak a little bit about being an African American male out here in Hollywood, man. Can you speak about the highs, the lows, the good things that come from it, and the negative things that come from it?
I think I think we all have our paths. Yeah. And we all have our way we're going to make it. Yeah. I think I can say that being black, I don't look at it as a detriment. I look at it as an attribute, because I can find the twist and angle on things that people just don't have. I think it's been tough for me, because I think I'm one of those kind of cross performers. I've done it all, and I have the slight arrogant belief that I can do anything, and so that has allowed me to venture into other areas of entertainment. I have done everything. I've done theater. I've done warm-up. I've done writing. I've done stand-up. I've acted, film, TV, websites. I've done it all. So,
and what award? NAACP Best Supporting Actor Award.
That's 2 of those.
Yes, sir. Let them know.
I won't brag, but
my man be acting for real, for real.
I'll be acting. So I think, but that in itself can be a detriment, because you do so many things, you don't really hone your skills on one thing. And so, and it's weird, because Hollywood has a way of accepting that with certain people. It seems like, oh, this guy is everything. And then some people go, he's just not good enough at this one thing we need. So you have to kind of find where you're going to find yourself, and kind of work your angle and get in there and just work it. And so my path hasn't nearly been laid out like I want it to lay out, but I'm in that area now where I think there are going to be bigger and better things happening for me on a larger scale, because of what I've gone through, and what I can do, and so my next goal is, if I could pattern my career after anybody, I want the Larry David career. I want to get behind the scenes. I want people to know, oh, this guy's great, and then all of a sudden I write my own thing, or I do my own thing, and then put myself back in a position to go to the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory and do all these things where I can make money going out and doing theaters, and I don't need clubs. I can do theaters. I can go back to my hometown, and hey, I'm gonna be there, and they'll come out with their guns and rifles and see me.
Definitely, man. I once heard it said, being a minority, you don't have a privilege to just be an actor.
No.
So therefore, you know, you got to wear different hats, man. You definitely have been doing that. Definitely. Anything you want to say out there to the young bloods out there that are coming out that just be like, oh, I'm just hit Sunset, and they're just going to embrace me?
No, I don't think you can do one thing anymore. I don't think, and that's why I admire all these guys that are doing the internet and doing their thing. I wish I had the savvy. I wish I knew how to do Vine properly, so that I could make Vines and do Instagrams and make the jokes and do the internet sketches. And I wish I had the time and the wherewithal and had the ability to do it. I think you've got to use those elements now, because that's what producers are looking for. They don't care about how funny you are. How many internet hits you got? How many Instagram hits you got? How many followers you have? Because that is sort of the key and what they're looking for. Of course, talent will win.
I was about to say, has that affected and made the talent more watered down that we see out there today?
I think it definitely misleads a lot of people, because I think most Hollywood executives and casting people, and I'm probably going to get in trouble here when I say this, are lazy. There's no development.
Speak.
You know, there's no real development in how I mean, you look at a lot of celebrities that came up before me. There was a generation of what they call people that did artist development. They were ADR people.
That was their job.
That was their job, to develop and find and pick talent. Well, now all you got to do is click a computer and go, this guy's got 1 million hits, he must be funny. Boom. And then you put him in front of a camera, and they can do their stuff. They can't do somebody else's stuff.
Exactly.
And so that's a problem, but I think it's something that can be overcome if you really have a desire to get to the next level, and you're an internet sensation, and you got to do the work. You got to go to the clubs. You got to do the classes. You got to do the acting thing. You got to embrace all of that, because eventually what happens is the 30 seconds of Instagram fame that you got will be your 30 seconds in a studio on a set, when this producer goes, who is this dude you brought in here? He's terrible.
Who the hell
who
is this?
Who is this bum? But I mean, it's a stepping stone, and it's a tool to get there. You know, because I know on our show, on The Real Husbands of Hollywood, we've the decisions, I think, have been made based on this person has this, or this person has a following. Let's use them. We had a guy last year on the show. His name was Spoken Reasons. Spoken Reasons. Very talented guy, and part of his appeal was the fact that, hey, this guy, I mean, and no disrespect to his talent, I think he's a talented guy. I think he's funny, but I don't think he's I wouldn't say he's probably was the best actor that came into the room.
Definitely.
But what that did was it allowed him in to show his talent because of his internet presence.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's got 10, 12, 30, 40 million hits on a video, you gotta admire that. You gotta go, hey man, this guy's doing something, and there's a group of people that like him. Definitely. And so if they like him on his videos and his 8 seconds or 15 seconds of fame that he's got going on his website or whatever, they might like him on the TV show. So let's say you got 40 million people. If we can get 10% of his followers to watch this show, that's 4 million people that will watch his show, that will watch our show if he's on it.
Definitely.
So it's just numbers. You know, it's a numbers game.
And also, but you know, I tell people all the time, you gotta understand, it's 2 different muscles. Like, to actually hold down a television show, it's different to do stand up of 15 seconds on Instagram. But Martin Lawrence used to have your attention for 30 minutes up there, baby. It ain't gonna be another Martin Lawrence anytime soon, baby.
Man, I don't know. I mean, man, that's because that talent was groomed and made. I used to work with Martin, and I'm gonna tell you, Martin is a very, very, very talented guy, and talent is going to win out. I can guarantee you. I'll tell you the truth. You'll see people that'll get out here and they're on something, or you hear about somebody and they're doing a show, and like, how'd that guy get a show? Don't worry. There's going to be a way, when I tell you, talent will win out. It'll soon rise to the top in a way that somebody's going to give you an opportunity, and you're going to be able to make and take advantage of it. It never fails. It always happens. Now, there's some talented people that don't make it, but for the most part, those that stay in the game, because this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon.
That's speak.
Yeah, you got to stay in it. So, you know, to have a career with longevity is the idea. No matter how long and where that longevity starts, that's the goal, to just stay in it to the end.
Definitely, definitely. Let's talk about your show, Real Husbands of Hollywood, which you're a writer on.
Yes.
Definitely, man. How did that come about?
Well, you know, the original Real Husbands of Hollywood sketch was developed on the BET Awards show. And Chris Spencer and myself and Johnny Mack, we were all sort of in this little development sort of phase, and it was Chris's idea, and we all kind of put our spin on doing something that would be sort of a satirical mock of the reality show genre.
Yeah, that's so, hilarity already.
Yeah, and so we took these guys and we did a sketch with them that went from a sketch to another sketch to a show. And I mean, when I tell you we have some of the most talented people, and this is when I say talent wins out. Kevin Hart is, I'm going to tell you, one of the most talented guys I know. And
he's not just stand-up; he's a comedic actor.
He's a comedic actor, and he makes great choices, and a lot of his choices when he's on set are genius. And so, you know, I don't think he's any more genius than me. I just had my shot, and as soon as I cut off my legs and get 4'11", I'm going.
When you a comedian, you gotta have a joke, man. I'm trying to tell you, you can't be.
No, Kevin, man, I love working with Kevin, man, and this is so funny because I've known Kevin since we used to play Madden in his house back in the day. Me, Kevin, Rodney Perry, Harry Goodspeed. There were a lot of comics. We all played Madden. And I knew then when we played, I was like, this guy's really, really, really funny. Yeah. And so I used to put him up, Kevin, and a lot of these people used to come to my room at the Ha Ha Cafe. And so I put them all up. So I've seen a lot of guys just their careers rise, and can tell you that some of them I saw, I knew when they were starting out, okay, this guy's got a little something, something.
Definitely,
and so that's how I become a writer over at the Real Husbands of Hollywood, because of the way the show progressed from sketch to a TV show. And being a good friend of Chris Spencer, being in the game for a long time helps.
And just relationships you build over the years.
Networking, and I've been around, so working on the show. And then the executive producer, Ralph Farquhar, and I worked together on a couple of projects before, so he knew me. And so it's just being in the game, again, about, as I spoke earlier, about longevity. You have networking possibilities, and you meet people, and you run across people that you might not actually work with them this one time, but it'll come back around and you get with them on something else. And that's how the Real Husbands of Hollywood came about.
Definitely, definitely. And before we get out of here, you want to tell the people about anything else you have coming up in the future?
Man, I've got several projects. I'm working on a show, hopefully that was sold to Lionsgate. We have a show. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's a project basically about a stand-up comic. Me and Chris Spencer are executive producing, along with Aaron Shore. Jamie Foxx is producing as well. We got I got a couple of projects. I have a friend of mine, a very talented actress named Sierra Payne, that I'm working with. She has a project we're trying to do, Michael's Daughter, which is about the show with a young lady, a web series about a young lady that has her family come to live with her, and her father was incarcerated, and so he comes out to live with her, and it's a big sort of comic mesh of these people in her house. And so I got that going, and then I've got a couple other projects working with a guy named Greg Fleur to get this movie written. So I got a lot of things going on, man.
Working hard, baby. It never ends out here.
Never ends out here.
Never ends out here.
And I got a daughter in college. My daughter Asha. That's another work of just took a whole chunk of money. I'm working daily. I'm thinking about going to get on the pole in a minute.
Why not? Definitely, man. And also, before we get out of here, man, I got to touch on it. It's been a crazy week in America. Definitely, man. I just want to get your views on Ferguson and also in Staten Island with the, black men going down with Mike Brown and everything. You have anything to say about that or your views on that? Just
I'm just saying, brothers should either get bulletproof vests and neck braces or something. This is ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous.
I mean, police got to stop this craziness, man. I joke, but it's a serious matter, you know. And I mean, we're trying to find. That probably wasn't the best angle, and there's probably going to some people that are going to go, "Oh, buddy, listen, hey, I'm a comic. I'm going to keep throwing them out until I make one hit."
Definitely.
That was on spur of the moment, but on the reality, and on the real, man, there's a necessity for dialogue that has to come between the people that police our communities, and our trust of those people that police our communities. I told somebody else, I think all policemen should be forced to live in the community they police.
That's true.
See, I believe once you know Miss Johnson's kids, and you know that's Bill from around the corner or Pookie from around the way, you'll have a different way you interact with people. And I am sick and tired of white folks living in fear.
Woo!
You know, I'm tired of this. What are y'all scared of?
Yeah.
You know, y'all run everything, you own everything. Stop living in fear when you come up on us.
That we scared of you. We scared of y'all.
You know, I mean, it's like when you come up on a snake, you go, the snake's more afraid of you than you are him. You know, so I think, and I think it's weird the way people address these issues. And you know, like for example, there was a white guy who was a criminal that had cattle out in Las Vegas or Nevada. Now, when he was about to get arrested, the police came and a crew of white people showed up with guns and ammunition to stop and help.
Yep.
You know, and everybody said, that's a good thing. We're stopping the tyrannical government.
Yeah.
but he was a crook.
Yeah.
But when a kid is seemingly being crooked or dirty, he should have got shot because he was a crook. And it's a weird situation that he deserved to be shot. And I'm like, wait a minute, you see, you brought all these guns out here to protect, you know, this one
crook
man,
that's obviously breaking the law.
Breaking the law that owes the government millions. But a guy who stole some Swisher Sweets out of a store, all of a sudden he's criminal, you know, he's criminal, mastermind criminal, enemy number one, and should be shot dead in the street. It just doesn't make sense. And like I say, I just think it's time for white policemen to stop being afraid. If you're afraid,
don't be a policeman.
Don't be a policeman.
Yeah.
If you're scared, when you come up on a black man or a child, you come up on a 12-year-old child, and you can't disarm a 12-year-old child.
Yeah.
Or you can't talk to somebody and say, hey, listen. And because I've seen on the internet, I don't know if you saw the picture on the internet where the white guy's holding a baby in this hand and a pistol in this hand. And he's pointing a pistol at people. They talk to this fool for 45 minutes.
Yep. Let's calm down. Maybe he's going through something.
Maybe there's a problem. Hold on, brother. Let's talk to Mr. Smith here for a minute.
Yeah.
Now, if that was Jamal, he would have been shot, him and the baby, and they would explain why they had to shoot the baby first to get to Jamal.
Speak.
So I think we've got to come to some a better understanding of how to deal with people in our community, because I've had my own troubles with the police and being stopped, and I mean, I can tell you 3 or 4 incidences where I've been stopped by the police for whatever, and I don't feel like I was doing anything criminal. Yeah. You know, but I've been stopped, I've been harassed, I feel, by the police, and I think we have to find a way to dialogue a little bit better. I think the police officers and our community at large, we have to dialogue a little bit more, because I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm tired of. I'm gonna quit defending some of these brothers too. Pull your pants up, and quit walking around the streets looking like a felon. Middle name is Misdemeanor, and you wondering why the police are bothering you.
And you went to private school.
Come on, man. I mean, we gotta find a way to justify both ends, and like Charles Barkley, ignorant as he tried to say, I think what he was saying is we can't be that parent, you know, whose son was a straight up criminal and he died. Oh, they killed my baby. Everybody loved my baby. No, everybody didn't love your baby.
Everybody didn't love him.
Yeah, that Negro was nuts. Yep. And he shot 3 or 4 people, and we can't be that person. We can't both of our communities cannot keep living in denial.
Yeah.
That we have some people in our community we have some element in our community that are they have no desire to be educated. They have no desire they want to be criminal and lazy and trifling. And then there's some people in the white community that are scared, and all they want to do is like eradicate Negroes, as if that's the problem for why you are in the position you're in.
Definitely.
So we have to find a way to bridge that gap and make sure that we are doing what we can do to move ahead, and they can do what they can do to prevent that from happening. You know, so I think there's dialogue that has to happen on both sides,
and being honest about it,
and being true and honest.
Definitely,
definitely, man. And just because we have a black president, don't mean things have changed.
And we thought it was gonna change real quick.
Yeah, I did too. You know,
we still kind of like, what? It didn't go down like that.
Hey,
no,
man,
okay.
It's really weird. So I'm hoping that through a little levity, you know, and somehow talking about this in the open, we can find a way to bridge that gap that exists between us as a community identifying and making sure that we're doing all we can to move from this element of just downright poverty mentality that allows us to be feel like we got to do crooked criminal things to get ahead, and this community of white people that are afraid that all of us are that.
Definitely.
You know, we can't all be indicted for one black person, and that shouldn't be because I know if black folks indicted all these white people for all the stuff they've done, they would be in trouble, because we'd all be trying to get some get back.
Most definitely. Great to hear that. Definitely, we gotta get out of here real quick. Tell the people where they can find you online, Mr. Lewis.
You can find me at Buddy Lewis Laughs on Twitter or Instagram, and Buddy Lewis Jokes on Instagram or Twitter. I don't know which one it is. This is what happens when you get old. You don't remember which one you did, but I know I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and my website, which will be back up in a day. I gotta go call these people. They just
call the man.
They gotta call the man. Shut down my website. But it's BuddyLewisComedy.com. So please get there. Send me a note. If I said anything on here that offended anybody, get over it. I'm a comic. Okay, this is what I do. I'm from Gary, murder capital of the world. We don't care. I'm a Howard University student.
Ain't you?
Graduate. Okay, I got my degree. Okay, I got options.
Definitely, that's what's up. And I'm your host, Ashford J. Thomas. You know where to find me online at Ashford JT on Twitter, Instagram. Also follow my fellowship, HowtonU, HOWTONU, and also HowtonU.com. A fellowship giving opportunity to HBCU students that have a hands-on experience in the entertainment world. And once again, it's been a great show. And once again, you're not funny unless you're on my show. You might be. I'm just joking. Go ahead and do your thing. It's been another one. Thank you so much. All right, tuning in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Peace.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.